crystal for a while, and you'll actually feel the crystal starting to respond because you've opened your energy up to it. So it's always emitting energy. All crystals, they're not acceptors, they're emitters. What you're doing is you're opening your energy up to allow the crystal to flow its energy into a system that's much bigger and louder than it. If you allow yourself to connect to the earth when you do that, kaboom, baby. You'll be crying all over the place. No, I'm kidding. But it does work beautifully. Motivation of stagnant energy. If you find yourself doing the same thing again and again and again, and you're like, oh, what do I get? Aquamarine is the way to go. Pop it on in there and say, this is what I keep doing. Allow me to release what it is. Kaboom, baby. Allow me to what it is that's stopping me or keeping me in the pattern, what's stopping me from moving past it, or that's keeping me in the pattern, and allow it to do it. 9 times out of 10, after about 10 minutes of just sitting with that, a memory will come up. It can be quite old. It can be fairly recent. It isn't necessarily the origin or the cause, although it can be. As a hypnotherapist, I deal with origins and core energy a lot, but it doesn't always have to be that. Sometimes it's just something that represents it, and there's that little light goes on. Every enlightenment moment, every aha moment that you have is enlightenment, okay? It's you getting to know yourself. If you find that you've got a trigger, then you can find a way to release the trigger or avoid the trigger. You don't have to change who. That's not what you're trying to do at all. For example, if you know you're not good with money, don't walk into a shop with $200 or $500. Don't be going, I've got that much willpower. Go, I know myself well enough to know that I'm probably going to spend it if I have it, so I'm just taking 50, taking 20, and that way I'm good. I'll leave my card at home. So you acknowledge your weaknesses, and that makes you stronger, right? That makes you able to make a choice that works for you, to what you need. Peacock stone, action in any area. Take them out and talk to them. Go on, take them out. The peacock stone I really do quite like. It's got that aura color thing going on. You know, you've got a multitude of colors to draw on, but it reinforces any area because of that multitude of colors, and it's solid. It's a real solid stone. So if you want to explore something within yourself, if you want to bring something out, if you find that you're just not getting things going the way you would like, you know, you feel that period of time where, just imagine using aquamarine and peacock stone together to get something going, release whatever's stopping you from moving, and you're going to enhance your ability to get things going. So that's pretty much the way to go. Amber, it's quite expensive now. My favorite thing about amber is quite often you'll find it's got little spiders trapped in it, you know. Not that I'm cruel or anything, but, you know, it's how it works. And it encourages creativity because amber's about something dripping and then slowly over a very, very long time building up a layer upon layer upon layer and trapping things within that, which gives it this multiplicity of frequencies, and it holds things together. When that's what you need to do, you need to bring in a variety of things together and allow them to work together to get what it is that you want. It's also a good way for accepting change. So when we've got something going on in our past, for example, say the most common example, it's not picking on anybody, divorce. So you got divorce in your past thinking, you know, well, I want change, but I don't, you know, I'm scared of that now. You can go, well, if you want change, you need to move past that and not live in a holding pattern. Even though you've finished the relationship, you're not holding the pattern that caused the destruction of the relationship, if that makes at all. Larimar, beautiful color. Look at it. It's very fudgy, very lovely colored stone. It's nurturing, restorative. If you find you run out of energy a lot, if you find that you're stressed a lot, if you feel like nobody cares, you know, going down the garden to eat worms. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me going down the garden to eat worms. Larimar is the card. It's just the crystal for you. Wow. It's the crystal for you because you need to learn to self-pacify. You need to learn how to restore your energy. If you're getting low on energy because you feel like you're giving it to everybody all the time, then it's time for you to think, I can give to others, I also need to give to myself, or I need to know how to accept from others. One of the more conflicted energies around is the person that goes, no, I'm good, I don't need your help, thank you. And then they wear themselves out because they kind of really did. Out of energy, you need that for energy, Victoria. And those are the sort of things that you're looking for. Larimar isn't an energy builder or booster. It's more about giving back something that you've lost. So that you put too much into things. And some people, it's cyclic, like they just go hard out, hammer, 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 get to the end of the week or the day or the month, and they're like, whoa, and they need a rest for a minute, and that's fine, but you can restore that a lot quicker. If you find you're emotionally drained, very good for young mothers. You know, people with children, younger children, where they're taking energy from you all the time, and they're not equipped to give it back at this stage of their lives. They're not in a position to pop it back. There you go. So that's the way to go with that is Larimar. Beautiful, beautiful crystal. Wonderful feeling. When you feel Larimar, it actually feels so soft. You know, you just sort of want to sway with it a little bit. Beautiful, beautiful stone. What can we say? It's just fantastic stuff. Pyrite is one that I really do like myself as well. It's so structured. If you find yourself quite scattered, if you find it really hard to keep on the ball, pyrite will just, boom, bring things together. It's confined, it's structured, it's got it all together. It's also known as fool's gold, right? So don't be conned by people. This is one that allows you to have discernment. It's one of these things that allows you to see what structure you need. That makes sense, Jenny. She has lots of pyrite. When you use it the way you need to use it, which is by connecting with that crystal, and of course we don't necessarily have to do that crystal, that connection every single time. Once you've got a good connection to it, when you need that energy, you're straight back there. Your body learns. You learn. Your energy learns. Your inner self learns. This is what I'm doing. That's where I'm getting it from. So after a while, when you do this a bit, it becomes automatic that when you're sitting there and you're thinking, I'm feeling like really uncommitted right now, and suddenly, boom, malachite comes flying up and through your feet and into your body, and right, I'm charged. I'm mowing that lawn till it's finished. That'd be Tom, hey, halfway through. Oh, look, a chair. Oh, look, a big chair. So it's this interesting thing that pyrite, he'll shove it in his pocket when he's going to mow the... You think he was pyrite in a past life? So it's a wonderful thing. It helps with decisions, especially decisions where you're not sure if it's going to affect your life in a negative way. It's important. Sometimes we make a decision that we regret simply because its impact, we couldn't think of it in all the potentials that it would impact our life 6 months down the track or a year down the track when we're stuck with it, if you like. So pyrite can help you feel that, your actual structure of your being, and whether that's going to still be reflective in enough time to make it worth making that choice. Lepidolite, acceptance of self. It's one of those beautiful, if you're critical of yourself, critical of others, if you find you judge yourself and others, and critical is that, right? It is judging. I think that we should stop judging people for judging. I think we need to accept it as a normal part of humanity that we judge things. I judge pedophiles, and I'll never not judge them, and I know it. I will judge situations. There are things that I find I can't find it in me to go, that's okay, it's in his life contract. I'm like, no, in this particular instance. But I need to accept the situation. You follow that, right? I don't have to accept you into my world, but I do need to accept the situation if it's already happened. If I'm going to have you in my life in some way and you're not a pedophile, then I need to accept who you are. Accepting who a person is doesn't mean having them in your life. It could be accepting and realizing this is who they are, and therefore I can't have them in because it doesn't fit with who I am. So acceptance is one of those things that requires discernment. So you pop that with your pyrite, and you can start to see now, I could use lepidolite with pyrite, and I can have the commitment, the discernment, and the acceptance. So I can quickly see what another person's intention is and make a decision regarding them, save myself a whole lot of time and regret later, and keep myself moving on. It's only once we involve ourselves with somebody that maybe we shouldn't involve ourselves with that we start to have regrets or have to extract. So we've made a decision of convenience rather than one of constructed acceptance and understanding. When you need to accept a situation of the past, if you've been mistreated by somebody, especially parents or especially somebody who wasn't good to you over a long period of time, then, lepidolite is brilliant for that. It allows you to look at it and go, well, actually, you know what? I don't want that person in my life, but they were just who they are. That is who they are. They weren't doing it to me. They were doing it. And this is part of what acceptance is. You know, I'm more into the word acceptance than forgiveness. They weren't doing it to me. I don't like you. I don't want you near me. But I accept that that happened, and there's nothing I can do about that today. It's done. But I don't have to blame myself for it either. I don't have to sit there and think there's something wrong with me because you didn't want me or because you treated me that way. So you're looking for that, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful stone. I call it fudgy purple most of the time because it actually feels and looks like fudge. That one's got a light behind it, so it's hard to tell. Rhodochrosite, this is what I call the hurting stone. Oh, now you really want it, right? The hurting stone. Give it to me. Fill my pockets. Oh, that's so bad. Rhodochrosite, your inner child healing, and it can be raw. Let's face it. That's not a feeling sorry for yourself thing. It actually can be raw, because if you've got an inner child issue going on, if you've got something that goes back that far, it's very without structure. It's very without fabrication. It's very without anything. It's the bit that comes out and goes, oh, that's so, oh, whoa. Oh, it's so good. It's like, whoa, horsey. The inner child healing, for it to be effective, you need to understand what was hurt in the first place. Not necessarily who hurt it, but what was hurt. You can actually go online and listen to core healing. That's a free meditation I've got on YouTube. You can go and draw that down and have a listen to that, which actually addresses core trauma. It looks at what the soul issue is, what the soul fear is, and what you need to heal it. Something that's really, really cool. If you use a crystal in conjunction with something like, it can be this amazing, amazing rollover. You can just feel yourself go, it's going. It's remembering emotional trauma. And while you might say, why would I worry emotional trauma? If we're living the outflow of it, it's in there. And so you need to go find it. You need to go find it to get rid of it. I had a very deep experience with a regression a long time ago, which was sort of in my very early stages. And I just, it perks onto things when you are looking at yourself, not as a critical thing, but if you're going, what do I need? What can I do to be better? What can I do to be the person I want to be? What can I be and do to be the person I want people to see me as being, and be that person, not just up front, you know? Then you get your answers, and then you find yourself drawn to the things that affect that for you, which is really ideal. And once you've done that, then you find what it was. Now, I had this regression therapy, and it was the first time I'd ever had anything like it, and she gave me energy as well, and I didn't understand that at the time. I really didn't. But when I went in there, I'd had man issues. I'd been in a very abusive relationship for quite a long time, and I was truly downtrodden. I've got no other word for it. I was a mess. And when I went in there and I had the memory and I remembered my dad and I remembered a few things, one of the interesting things that came out about it was I'd always accepted on some level that my dad dying young and buggering off with a woman and all of that stuff when I was 9 to 11, had an impact on that. But when I got in there and did this, I found out what the problem actually was, and I could never have pulled it out. And I knew I could never have pulled it out because I was now nearly 40 at that time, and I would never, ever have been allowing myself to think of this as a possibility. And what came out in that was that I always felt my dad would come back. He left when I was 9. And he ran off with another lady, and I was just a kid. I didn't understand any of it. Mum was pretty. But what happened when I got through all of this, when I went to 40-year drama, 30-odd year drama, when I went through all of that, I got to the end, what I thought was wrong wasn't what was wrong. It wasn't that my dad had died. It wasn't that he'd run off with this woman. It was that this little 9-year-old girl believed totally that her daddy was coming home, and he didn't. And then when he died, he couldn't. It was a done deal. And I just could not compute that. It just could not resolve itself within my system. So that's why I'm saying remembering emotional trauma is powerful stuff, because instead of dealing and trying to deal repeatedly, which I all the time, and I'm sure many of you have as well, the wrong thing batting at it. I'm trying to release. People are saying this all the time. I'm trying to release this. I'm trying to get rid of that. I'm trying to sort this out. Nothing's working. You start a healing process within a year or so, you should